Hello and welcome to take two. We hadn't made it too far, but here we are. Hi, welcome. I'm Katie. Today we're doing some custom ink mixing for my friend Karina for a swap that we are doing. And I just talked for 10 minutes and it was not recording. So here we are again. Let me tell you what we're using today. I've got a Kakimori nib in a nib holder. I'm using as the base inks, I'm using the Birmingham Pen Company Atomic Keystone inks. These are mixable inks. I bought them when they were in 100 ml bottles. They are now mostly in 60 ml bottles. But I've decanted them into smaller vials so that the risk of contamination is less. I got a notebook that I'm practicing in. I've got a ceramic watercolor palette I got on Etsy. I'll put a link to her shop below. It's got these nice like wells, which I think will be perfect for this. And I got a variety of syringes. So I asked Karina what kinds of custom mixes she would like, and she requested a coral and a brown, and then she said she always enjoys greens and pink and purples. So we're gonna start with the corals. Coral is, I agree, a challenging color to buy, so we'll see if we can do any better custom. So I already done this swatch. This is the Birmingham Saltwater Taffy. It's like already a yellow leaning pink, but it is very pink and extremely vibrant. And I don't know how these things are going to show up on camera. So follow my verbal description. I'll do what I can to edit the footage, but I'm not going to want to spend a million years editing all the footage. So here it is. But I think we're going to want to yellow it up. And so I could use Tiger Lily, which is the yellow that comes in like the Atomic line, but I'm gonna actually start at least by adding a little golden beryl because I think it would be fun for this to be a shimmer ink. And so first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pipette or syringe up, let's do 3 mils of this. Let's see how full that makes this fairly. All right, we will proceed with caution. If disaster happens, well, so be it. So I'm gonna start there because that's most of what I want. Now, in general, it's smart to start with your lightest color and go from there. So I should start with my yellow, but I may live to regret that. So I'm just gonna pull up, let's do 1/2 ml. Oh, well, that's fun to see. And I'm just gonna mix them carefully. So I'm not gonna wanna add too much more volume to this well. What I like about the ceramic wells though is they don't stain. Compared to the plastic well that I was using. So let's see where we're at here. So here's the original. Yep, that definitely yellowed it up. It's actually already a pretty good coral. Like it's right there in that like pink orange interface. It's very bright. Let's see what it actually looks like. It's very bright. If I wanted to tone it down, I'd put a little blue in it. A little blue-green. That strikes me as risky. I think we're already there, to be honest with you. I think this one was an easy one. All right, so we got coral done. That was very quick, but hey, who are we to mess with perfection? I'm very tempted to add just a tiny bit of blue to it, but I know that that can get really ugly, really like out of control really quickly. This swatch here with the gold in it is really beautiful. Might need to make a little of that for myself, although it's the wrong time of year for me to want that kind of ink. So coral, check. Let's move on to a brown. Now, she didn't give me any indication of warm brown, cool brown. So what I'm actually going to do is go look at the Birmingham website. They've got swatches of and recipes for a bunch of browns. I'm going to go look at that, see what feels good to me, and then see if I feel like following it. Okay, so looking through their website, I found myself attracted to this one called Distressed Leather. I'll put it on the screen. And it's like a nice warm brown. I don't know what she's looking for, but I was attracted to it because I'm thinking, you know, we're going to the Christmas season, and I feel like I'm looking for like a firewood kind of color, like a hearth. I don't know. So now the problem with Distressed Leather is it does call for airline, which is blue I don't have. So I'm going to wing it. But it is a complicated brown in the sense it's got a lot of things. So it's got Ladybug, which is the red, Sterling Silver, which is like honestly one of my favorite ones of mixing component. It's like a really complicated gray. It makes things look really cool. Some Tiger Lily, which is the yellow, and then Airline, which is a blue. So let's see how this goes. So the biggest component is sterling silver. It's 5 parts sterling silver. So let's do that. Also, yes, I labeled this as sterling ink when I made this because I was on autopilot. So, let's do about 2 mils of this. Put it in here. Yep, I deserve that. Okay. I have to clean my desk when I am done. And then all the other components are in equal volume amounts. The Tiger Lily, the saltwater taffy, and the blue, except that I'm probably gonna go down on the blue because I think the blue I have is more concentrated. So I'm gonna do about 3/4 of a mil based on the ratio. So I made a cookbook based on the things that are on the website. So I have recipes to make like 4 mils of each of these colors. So that's why I seem to know the math, is because I had Excel do it all for me. If you have these and you want a copy of my cookbook, leave a comment or message me on Instagram at Baker Lane Studio, and I'm happy to send that to people. I don't think I have a good way of posting it, and they don't have recipes for everything up. It's kind of like Noodler's Golden Brown or something right now. It's a little too orangey, a little too light for what I'm thinking. But we're gonna wanna proceed with extreme caution on hibiscus, which is the blue. I hope you find this interesting. I'm trying not to be too slow and too boring about it. We'll see what it's like to edit. I don't know if you can see, there's undertones, things mixed with the sterling silver kind of get like a complicated undertone. I don't have a better way of saying it. All right, I only put a very small amount of blue in there, so we may need to well, for one thing, we may need to move to a vial here, because because I think we are courting disaster. So we've neutralized some of the orange, but it's making it more yellow in a way I like less. So let's put back a little bit of Ladybug, because I'm starting to actually really like the color now. I wish it were a little darker, but we could add. So this is the problem. If you follow the recipes, then you're good. But if you just go in by the seat of your pants, then you can easily end up in these situations in which, it's drying less yellow. Okay, I need to stop making decisions based on non-dry ink, because I like that color better than it was when I first put it down. I still like this color better, but I would have been totally fine with that. But now we've added red, so let's see. This is why I didn't make like 5 mils from the outset, is because I knew we were going to be adding more volume by messing with it back and forth. All right, let's let that dry and actually see how we feel. I'll clean some syringes while we wait. All right, this swatch here is pretty dull and boring. This one here is, it's from the same mix. Had more ink in it, and it's giving some nice shading. Let's see what it's like if I dip this Hokoro pen in and see what it might look like to write. It reads very yellow going down, but I've learned not to panic. In general, I do find that the ones with sterling silver do have a significant drying shift. That has been true across a number of my mixes as well. So it's a very functional color. I'm a little bored by it. I'm tempted to put rose gold shimmer in it. But then it goes from being a like super yeah, I like it. I was gonna say, then it goes from being like a super practical ink to something that's like a little silly. But I don't care, it turns out. So this is actually a powder that someone gave me, and I haven't ever used it in its dry form. What I'm gonna do is put a little dilution liquid in it, just to like make it pipetable. We'll just mix it up here, and then we can pull some out. And it's possible we just ruin the whole thing, in which case we'll start over. This is the beauty of having hundreds of mils. Okay, so it's I mean, it's not the most exciting color of all time, but I think it's a very serviceable brown. Like, I think I would personally find that it goes with a lot of stuff. It's not too warm, it's not too cool, it's just like kind of a nice neutral brown, and then it does have the shimmer in there. I will warn her to make sure to put that in a pen that is easy to clean and to disassemble, just in case, because it is. I've heard people use this powder, but I don't have any personal experience with it. So I think it should be fine, but I don't want her to put it in something that's going to be really hard to clean. Okay, let's talk purples. And here we encounter a problem, which is that I have run out of empty vials. All right, next up is purple. And I found two that I was kind of interested in. One is California Raisin, which is complicated, not complicated, but it's got tea berry ice cream, which is the bright pink. Sterling Silver, which we've discussed, and Hibiscus, which is the blue. And then there's also Hydrangea, which is just tea berry ice cream, and Hibiscus. So I'm gonna go somewhere in between those things. I might add a smidge of Sterling Silver. So I'm gonna kind of walk the line between those two. So both of them have the majority of it as tea berry ice cream, which is a bright pink. And I'm gonna take up like two plus mils of, maybe like half a mil of hibiscus, maybe a little less of hibiscus. I'll do 0.3 mils of hibiscus, and then we can look at that, just where that gets us, because I'm curious to see. My 30 inks 30 days purples were nice, but not. I have been wanting to mess with purples a little more since then. I'm a little afraid this is going to be too blue based on what I'm seeing. Well, again, Katie, wait, because it's purpling up. It goes down super blue, but watch it color change. Crazy. It's pretty light. I feel like I want it. This reminds me of like Neko Ninjagi or something. I think we're gonna want it to be darker. I don't think this addition of sterling silver is gonna get us darker. I'm gonna put a little bit of saltwater taffy, which is a lot like tea berry ice cream, but like more concentrated. Just to hit it with a little bit of that. I mean, it's beautiful color. I just don't, I don't think it's gonna look great coming out of a pen. Just do like 0.2 mils of that, just to see if we can always add something dark to it, but I don't want to mess with the purple. Like, I don't want it to be, so we can add black or something to it, and we might, but I don't want it to be, I don't want to tone down the purple necessarily. I mean, maybe I will, but I do want to darken it up. Not sure if that made a difference or not. Maybe grade it out a little, because the saltwater taffy has a slightly yellow undertone, although not too much. But I think it's too pink for what I'm going for. I think I want it to be a little bluer. I mean, it's very pretty. I wonder how it's coming out on the screen. I'm going to put, instead of more hibiscus. I'm gonna put a little electron in there, which again is like a super potent color. It's got a tiny bit of sheen too. Well, I definitely blued it up. Let's see how it dries. Yeah, I get strong Neko Nonyagi vibes from this. But I do think this purple is more usable than either of those two if people are worried about lightness. I think I'm gonna leave it. I think it's pretty as it is. I think that's our purple. All right, when it comes to green, the Birmingham website is a little sparse because they're still down. They've been saying there's a new yellow coming for months and it's still not out. So I kind of expect that a bunch of the greens call for that yellow, and that's why the recipes aren't up. But we're gonna fight through it. So I'm gonna mostly just follow my own intuition here and see if it serves me wrong or not. So I'm gonna go, I don't know, I'm feeling kind of like Christmas lead up-y. So I'm gonna try like a nice pine green. Not too dark, but maybe a little neutral. So I think I'm gonna start with a base of Tiger Lily, which is the yellow, and sterling silver. I think that's gonna give us a nice base. Sterling silver is just a bit blue. And then we can work in some blue. So let's say, and I'm really just out on a limb here. Maybe I won't make too much of this, just so that we can adjust. So let's do a mil of Tiger Lily and a mil of sterling silver. Just as like a little base color. My recollection is that these together make obviously like a grayish yellow, but I think it's gonna be kind of greeny. And then we can adapt from there. And part of it is I'm hedging. I don't know if I'm gonna want the hibiscus, which is less concentrated, or the electron, which is more concentrated. Did I wash this before I? Yeah. So we'll wait for that to dry. We learned some lessons. So it's not super green yet, but we will get there. My instinct is electron. A little bit of electron. It's very concentrated. We'll do like, I don't know, a little less than 0.2 mils. See where that gets us. So I think I want to add a little more blue, and then I think I'm going to want to add some black is my guess. But let's start with the blue, because I'm imagining this as a blue toned green, not a yellow toned green. This one is pretty up the middle. So I'm just gonna add maybe just another, somewhere between 0.1 and 0.2 mils. know this is a very concentrated color, so I don't want to overshoot it and just end up in blue. It's a way to run out of yellow really fast, is to like have a lot of it but have it be so overpowered that you can't actually like not actually using it. But this is why you start with the yellow, is because if you start with the blue, you'll be like adding yellow forever and just burning through your yellow. Okay, so you'd think I learned my lesson, and I keep almost learning it, but the color shift on these is pretty serious. And in particular, it looks much yellower initially, and then less yellow as I go. So it does actually, it dries, you know, faster from the dip nib than the big old swatch. So yeah, even just seconds ago, I was like, it's still too yellow. It's like just an up the middle green, and I'm bored. And why was this one bluer? It shouldn't be bluer. And now it's drying. This is definitely a mental exercise. Okay, I'm gonna call it good for now, possibly. I'm gonna let this dry all the way and show it to you, but I think this is kind of where we're ending up. And it reads very dark on camera, but it's not that dark in person. I don't know. But I'm gonna call it there. Here are my 4 colors for Karina, 2 shimmer inks and 2 non-shimmer inks. I can't say it's a cohesive palette really, but it didn't need to be. So hopefully she enjoys them, at the very least painting with them. And thanks for hanging out with me. I hope you found this was fun. Feel free to leave any kindly worded feedback. It doesn't have to be positive, but please have it be kind. I'd be curious to hear what you think of this format. All right, thanks for hanging out with me. Bye, friends.